So you're tired of sucking as soon as you get on the badminton court? Well, today I'm going to give you the top 5 warm-up tips you're going to need to perform 100% every time on the court. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and watch till the end of the video. Our first tip is to bring our heart rate up. Oftentimes you may experience a lot of fatigues as soon as you get on court. That's because you switch suddenly very quickly from a resting state to an active state. Our first exercise is going to be sprints. Why sprints is very helpful is because it can help bring our heart rate up without fatiguing too much of our muscles. When we're running sprints, we want to keep the distance very short. We want to keep it to around 30 meters. Since you want to make sure you're running around 80% to 90% to really get your heart rate going and warming up all your muscles. But one thing you really need to pay attention to is don't over fatigue your muscles, and also don't run too hard when you're not completely warmed up. So make sure to fully stretch your body before you're running the sprints. Exercise number 2 is going to be in-spot sprints. How you want to perform in-spot sprints is the same as doing high knees. The only difference from high knees is we're leaning forward just like we're running sprints, and we're really driving our feet into the ground using the tip of our foot and our calves to strike the ground and push off fast. Sometimes this may be even more effective than running sprints because you can drive your whole body just a little bit faster than if you're running sprints. Our third exercise to bring up our heart rate can be with consecutive smashes. Now smashes, as you know, is one of the most tiring things to do in badminton. So if you're using this as a warm-up, make sure you have enough stamina to be using this to bring your heart rate up without getting too tired to play. When you're smashing, have your feet side to side to you so you're also adding in a little bit of movement. Our last exercise to bring our heart rate up is to do jump ropes. When we're doing jump ropes, we want to make sure we keep our speed high. You can either do high knee jump ropes, double jump ropes, or very fast single jump ropes. This will also help warm up your calf muscles to provide you that vertical you'll need to be playing on court. Tip number 2 is going to be going through your whole vocabulary of shots. The first thing you can do to start up with your warm-up is to do drives. Make sure to keep them quick, your swing very small, and also anticipate what your opponent is going to hit. One thing to also focus on is focus on where you are hitting to your opponent's bodies. Force them to hit a shot of what you want. Our second shot to practice is our clears. When we're hitting our clears, make sure to always move back to center so you have that movement going on. Really focus on the shot and speed of the clear, the placement of the clear, and also the change of pace. Our third shot to work on is going to be our drops and our lifts. You want to make sure your drops are very quick and you're always very in position to hit a fast drop. If you can on the drops, make sure to jump and get to as much of an optimal position as possible. For our lifts, we want to get the lifts as high as possible, keep our swing very small, and just tap it out, and also focus on that placement, speed, and height, and make sure that it's over our opponent. Our last shot to work on is going to be our smash and our defense. Make sure to go through all the smashes, from standing smashes to scissor kick smashes to jump smashes. Focus on pushing quickly to get into position quickly, and that your smash is also quick and small. When you're defending, make sure that your stance is standing correctly with your right foot slightly in front and your racket always ready. Our third tip is going to be warming up our feet for more nimble movement on the court. Our first exercise to warm up our feet is going to be fast feet. How we want to do this is get into a lower position with our feet shoulder width, go onto the balls of our feet, and as we're doing this, very quickly strike the ground back and forth. When you're doing this, you want to make sure your balance is very in the center, you're slightly leaned forward, and your core is very engaged, moving your feet up and down, focusing on using your calves, the ball of your feet, and also incorporating a little bit of your hips into the motion. Our second exercise to warm your feet is going to be alternating fast feet. When we're doing this, really make sure that you're actually moving your feet back and forth, focusing again on the ball of your feet and your calves, and using your hips to pronate and twist your body so that it can turn. A third exercise to warm up your feet is going to be a scissor twist of your feet going back and forth at the front. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that the width of the exercise is just slightly wider than your shoulder length, and you're turning as quick as possible. So you really have to strike outwards going in, and also make sure you stay centered when you come back so you can reset to the outwards position. Our last exercise for the T-cross jump. We want to put the feet together, jump forward, jump backwards, jump left, and then jump to the right as quick as possible. This is going to help warm up our feet for whenever we need to put our feet quickly together to do jump smashes. Our fourth tip is super important, and that's warming up your mentality. The first way to warm up your mentality is, of course, some people like to listen to music. When you listen to music, you can forget about everything around you and focus on only yourself and what's happening. Our second way to focus is, of course, to watch badminton motivation videos. If you're motivated, that means your dopamine levels are high, your adrenaline is high, and you're really ready to go and to achieve what you just watched. Also, watching someone else is a very good way to replicate what they're doing. So you're watching professionals performing at their best, you will also have that mindset of performing at your best when you're on the court. Our third way to focus your mentality is watching your opponent. Watching them like you're going to assassinate them. Look at their every move and envision how you're going to defeat them. When that's running in your mind, you won't be thinking about anything else except for how to beat your opponent. Tip number 5, your equipment is always ready. Their grip is too old, their grip is too big, their racket is not good, their strings are too loose. None of that really matters, but of course for some of you where you still rely on the placebo of your equipment, then make sure your equipment is always ready, your strings, your tension, everything you need the way just you like it, so you have no excuses to not performing well on court.